What's up, football-loving maniacs? Time for another edition of Three Honest Lads. As promised, we got to look behind the curtain. We're getting a view of the entire USL Championship. Eastern Conference, Western Conference unite to create one major conference, right? That we're talking to the boys in the Western Conference tonight. One of the biggest and baddest supporters group in the entire USL Championship. They will make their name that maybe they are the best, but they are humble as well. I have the Bandidos, and I have two very kind gentlemen with me. Odin Domingo, say hello.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And Christian, where you at? Christian Vasquez, you there, bro?
Right here, Devin. Good to be honest. Hearing your voice that's not coming from my TV watching a game is very weird to me.
You got to get rid of the picture, though. It's the face freaks everybody out. They just like the voice, right? So, guys, let's start with this. 2020. What the right? I mean, Jesus, it has given us so many different things. I want to start with the end of the year and ending on a sour note. Western Conference champions twice in the past 3 years. You get to the final. You don't get an opportunity to make up for 2018. Number one, what did that feel like? And number two, did either one of you make the trip down to sunny South Florida?
Yeah, that sucked. We left, a bunch of us got on the plane about 5 o'clock in the morning in Phoenix. We were just happy. I mean, we were excited, a little nervous with the COVID, but we're pretty responsible. Everybody had a mask. You know, we stayed away from people. And then we landed in Charlotte. As soon as we landed on, we turned on our phones, and I turned on my phone, and I'm like, oh, crap, Sean Connery died. And then my buddy was on the row next to me. He's like, bro, did you look at your phone? I was like, yeah, man, James Bond died. He's like, no, the championship game's canceled. I thought he was messing with me. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And then sure enough, we get off the plane. We start making phone calls. We had a couple other people leave the day before on the Friday. And we hit them up, and they're like, yeah, we're talking, it's done.
So we had people flying in from like DC, Utah. So it wasn't just from Phoenix. We had a whole group over there just ready to wreak havoc on Florida, and man, it's so heartbreaking. It was awful.
Did you keep coming back down, or did you turn around and go home?
No, we went. We're like, yeah, we already paid this money. Your refunds. I gotta tell you, I hate flying. Like I hate it. Like literally, the only times I'll fly is for the Phoenix Rising Way Day. And I was like, well, we might as well go. So we just made a drink at the hotel, and then the next day we went to we just spent the whole day on the beach and took beer. Nice. We took a soccer ball with us, so we had a little kick around, got in the water. East Coast ocean water is a lot better than West Coast ocean water.
It's a little different, right?
Yeah, it's like a warm bath.
Talk about the bars, bro.
You at the bars?
No, well, we found one that was like. Oh, go ahead, Odin.
Go ahead. You were there. I'll just. Your pictures.
Yeah, we found one that was like not that many people, and then a couple players didn't come in. They came and said hi because they knew we were there, and then some people from the front office came and had a beer with us, and they jetted, and then we went to go walk around town, and we were just like, there was probably 10,000 people out packed in the bars. It was Halloween night.
Yeah. Yep.
No masks.
No masks.
Crazy, right?
We went to the pool and drank beer at the hotel.
It's Florida.
Yeah, Florida for you. It's Florida, dude. I mean, Mike Watts, who's calling the game with me, of course, we were there on Friday night. And normally when you go to any away game, let alone games like this, dinner is a grandiose event. You know, it's all the production crew and, we're going to a steakhouse, or we're going to go do this. And that wasn't the case. And so the night of dinner, Mike and I walked out to get to-go food, and when we went to go pick it up, same thing. You know, where there was that strip right near the hotel near Al Lang, and we just kind of walked down and we went, "What are you guys doing?" I live on the East Coast of Florida, and it's the same thing. I kind of drive down every night. I live near like a city center avenue type place, and I kind of look around, going, "Okay, this is why we're where we're at." But again, to each their own. Don't support it, don't agree with it, but I'm not going to argue about it at this point in time. Why we're here to talk about you guys, talk about the supporters groups, Phoenix Rising, let everybody know what it's like to be at ground zero and have a little fun. So let's start here. I've had the opportunity to see you in person multiple times. I want to know about some traditions. I want to know about what it's like to be with you guys on game day. You know, in a perfect world, I get it. You don't celebrate daylight savings, but we do on the East Coast, so I have to adjust for time. It's a 7:30 game. It's an 8:30 game. Whatever it is, what's it like? You wake up in the morning. Odin, let's start with you. What does your day look like?
So there are some mofos in our group that wake up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It's match day. We have this big old chat where it's like, if you step away from this chat for an hour, you'll miss 99 messages, and that's the least that you'll miss. Yeah, so we got like people who wake up really early and they'll start saying good morning, and it's match day, you know, mother effers, and so it gets hyped right when you wake up, and then when Christian comes on, he's like, all right, when are we going to Tavern, which is the bar that's the pregame bar. And then you can talk about that, Christian, because you guys go there pretty early. I have a small young family, and that my life isn't quite there yet anymore. So I probably show up around 5 p.m. probably 2 hours before, but those fools have been there for at least a couple hours prior to me arriving.
Our bar, Tempe Tavern, that's the place, man. We usually meet up around 3:30. It's to the point after these years where it's like the old TV show Cheers. We walk in, the bartenders and servers scream our names. I don't think I've had to place an order for drinks there in 3 years, because
they know.
You walk in and a shot of Jameson and a PBR lands right in front of my face. I'm like, cool. And then like 10 minutes later, there's another shot in a PBR, and I'm like, cool. And it's like the cheapest dive bar ever. You can take like 4 people there and drink for 5 hours, and the tab will be $70.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
And Odin walks in though, and he walks into the bar with his family, and he sees you guys, and they put a shot of Jameson and PBR down. He's like, "That's not for me, honey. I swear."
But they bought it for me, so I mean, I can't say no.
You got it. It'd be rude. It'd be rude not to, right? So okay. So
and also
so
the tradition is I got to get ticket 3 times.
Go ahead. Say that. Go ahead. Say that again.
No, I'll just say. And the tradition is I have to take it 3 times. So just.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you don't want to break tradition. You know, you don't want to mess with karma. So we finish at the bar. I don't know the location of this bar. Is it in proximity to the stadium that you can walk?
No, it's probably about a 6-minute drive.
Okay.
6 to 10 minutes, just depending on traffic. So we usually have some people that don't drink a lot, and then we just ditch cars and pile into one car, and then we make it to the stadium.
Do you have a specific time that you always get there?
Yeah, we usually try to get there an hour and a half. Well, half the crew goes and does setup and everything, and just gets in the section and make sure it's our people. And if there's newcomers, like we try to include them, let them know what to expect. So like half the people are already there, and then we just go in about an hour and a half as soon as they open the gates, which is usually about an hour before kickoff. And then we just get up there and we just start getting ready.
Christian, how deep is the group? How many people?
I would say there's a core group that have been together for a long time. Like in the group chat, there's probably maybe like 80 people in the group chat.
Most of the people behind me.
Yeah, the people in the picture. But we have a lot of people who come on game day or religious game days, and they got Bandido shirts, and they're a part of Bandidos. They sit with us, and they do things with us. And I would say over maybe 150 that we can count on all the time, who participate, who will show up and make noise and be crazy with us. And then that's how we get new members, though, because I remember the time we were way smaller than that. And it's just about doing our thing. And then when people come in, we're like, hey, if you're going to sit here, you have to do what we do. There's no, put your phone away. There's no phone time. Be respectful. Obviously, no, there's that line you can't cross, but it's 100% you're going to get rowdy. If you don't like the rowdiness, that's cool. We get that. Some people don't like the rowdiness. Standing up for 90 minutes, chanting and singing the songs. You just can't stand there. You have to sing the song. So if that's not for you, you can sit to the side. But the people that are like, hey, that's freaking awesome, they just migrate in, and the group gets bigger and bigger.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't speak Spanish because a lot of our chants are in Spanish. So I just try to make a verbal sound that sounds close enough to the word.
Just do your best. Just do your best.
Do your best. Nobody's gonna get mad at you or feel insulted that you are saying it like with a total American accent. My Spanish is freaking horrible. They make fun of me all the time. Half the time, I don't even know what they're saying. And just do your best. If you try, that's good enough. We just want noise. We want passion. We look at it as it's our job to do this for the team. They go out there and they sign all these amazing players. We always have the best kits, in our opinion, the best kits in the league. They let us do things that when we used to be in stadiums with the other ownership group that would have got us kicked out. The minimum we can do is for 90 minutes to stand up, go and sing the songs and sing the chants nonstop. We can put the same effort the players put into training. And that's the passion. That is literally the only requirement to be a Bandito, is to give 100% every game.
I love that. That's fantastic. Odin, has your family made it to the games?
You know, no, I have taken so I have a daughter. She's 6 years old now. I only take her to preseason games because I think that's as safe as our section will ever be is during the preseason, because in a regular season, there's no way. There's no way my 6-year-old and my wife could take what happens there with the jumping and for lack of a better word, moshing, and then the singing and the how loud the drums get, how crazy we get physically with each other. It's all love, but it does get a little rough and a little dirty in there. And most of us are obsessed with soccer, right? Like that's like our thing. If we're not working, we're not sleeping, we're talking about soccer, thinking about soccer. So at one point in our relationship, my wife Jenny liked soccer, but because of my obsession, like there's no way she would ever want to go to a game. Although she has gone to one preseason game, and no, that's it. It's too much. It's too much for anybody else.
If you pay enough attention, you have to learn how to flip those words. A little piece of advice. So the negative side is obsession. Some people use it as a digression. I call it a gift. You know, it's like beer. I don't have a problem drinking beer. I have a gift. I don't have a problem watching soccer. It's a gift. That's how you have to explain it to your wife. You mentioned kits before. Christian, I want to ask you this. Let's step away from Phoenix Rising kits. Who designs the Bandidos kits? Because they're fire.
Yeah, that is so Tibu, one of our Luis, he designed our first one, the one with the checker, the red ones, and then we have a black variation of that, a white variation of that, and a few of us we have a pride variation that we're gonna wear next year. And then Zach's doing our newer ones, the one with our Native American skull. Have you seen that one, the black one?
Yeah, I saw it on social media.
Yeah. So Zach did that one. So if you like those, I'm going to tell you right now, we have 2 more coming out next year that put all of them to shame.
No way.
Yeah. That's
super cool. Super cool. Okay, drummers. We were talking about it before we came on air. Who are my drummers in the group? Who are the musicians?
These guys right here, I have their cardboard cutouts with me.
Names?
And we have probably about 6 to 10 people, I think, that can play drums, and just depending on family. These guys are here every week, and we have Alicia, Bruce, Jared, Aaron,
Mike,
Zach can play drums. Like I say, Tibu plays drums, and a few others, and we just rotate them through. I mean, the core plays, but we have a few that can't make it all the time, but when they're there, they do.
With all the success that you guys have had, and I'll start with you, Odin, this could be as an individual and it could be as a group. With all the success that you have had, what are the superstitions that you may have about someone on drums, about wearing certain types of clothing, certain chants? Does any of that float around?
I don't think we have any superstitions. The only superstition is that make sure that Christian goes to tavern and drinks as much Jameson as he's allowed.
Literally, that's
the
only one.
Yeah, that's literally. And then we know that when we wear red, like we got black kits, white kits, like rainbow kits, like Christian was saying. But when we wear red, that's where at least I have seen where our win percentage has gone up. And obviously, the team has a lot to do with that. But when we're red, I know it's on. But yeah, that's literally the only two things that I can think of.
It's right up there with the dollar beer night stat. I think those two are pretty close.
For sure.
I think it's really kind of both of you to allow the team to think that they have something to do with the performance when you guys wear red. That's super sweet, because if you didn't wear red, obviously they wouldn't win. They wouldn't win.
I was trying to be nice.
That's got to be one of my personal favorite things is dollar beer night. I think the atmosphere, and we'll get to the new location soon, but I think the atmosphere at Casino Arizona is fantastic in general. One of the best around the entire USL Championship. But dollar beer night, it just seems like it's another level. And the games that you've played, the opponents that you've done it against, what is it like being there firsthand? Let's start with you, Christian.
That's actually one of my least favorite nights because, like, I'm kind of like
for $1.
Yeah, there's no Jameson shots for $1. But kind of like when it comes to setting up, I'm the guy that works with security and the flow of the game day and setup. I'm the liaison that for us that talks to the team. And beer night brings out a lot of what we like to call tourists.
Yeah.
And our college kids, because it was so close to ASU. And they wouldn't, it got way more packed and people not understanding the flow of like having two supporters groups in there and where they should sit. And it kind of got a little crazy there for a while with just being so packed. Like, it got stressful, but it is what it is. We had fun. All right. I appreciate the cheap beer, even though it's Bud Light. Nothing wrong with Bud Light. Love you, Bud Light.
Odin, same for you?
Yeah, like Christian said, the tourist stuff is a problem, right? Because not everyone knows when they enter the supporter section, if they only come for dollar beer night, they don't know what it's like. But at a certain point, as the night goes on with with the chants going and everything like that, I feel like in the 60th minute, that's when we kind of get into a groove and get into a zone, and everybody else that are tourists or they're only there a couple games and not really with us 100%. At that moment, they know what it's like at that point. And then that's when, we get into like that zone. And I feel like it just rackets up from there. But I agree with Christian. It is tough, especially for him and, what he tries to do during game day with the security staff and everything else. But it's fun because there's just, it's packed, we're jumping, we're singing. And then when people who aren't there regularly, join us and, try to sing. And as far as the Spanish song goes, as long as you can try to roll your R's, that's good enough. That's good enough for us. But yeah, no, it's a what is it like? It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we like the tourists. I mean, that's how you attract more people to the game, and that's how you build the fan base and build the culture. It is exciting, and they want to jump in there with Red Fury, or they want to come jump in with us. But you kind of, it's like, come to a couple games, sit to the side, kind of get a note of how it goes and what's expected. Then come up and say, "Hi, my name is. Can I jump in with you?" And I thought, well, like, yeah, come on in. But a lot of them, they get so drunk, they just stumble in and try to push their way into the middle. And we're like, "Oh, hold on."
So you talked about it prior to Odin's response, and then you just brought it up. I need to know, what is it like between the two groups? I've seen literally hatred, but I've also seen recently a coming together of the two groups for a bigger and greater cause. You talked about kind of tourists and policing it and just making things a better environment. What is it like between the Red Fury and the Bandidos?
It's pretty good. I mean, I've seen you on Twitter for years, so I know you've seen it and you hit on it. It wasn't friendly at first, but I think over time, it's just once egos got out the way. I mean, we have friends over there. We had friends over there then. Not everybody's meant to be friends, but as long as we remember that our goal, our number one purpose, our sole purpose for even both groups to exist is to support Phoenix Rising. Yep. That's the number one goal. We're not there to be like, hey, we're Bandidos, we're trying to be superstars. No, we want to push those guys on the field because we've talked to the players and they've told us like there's sometimes a chant comes on and they get a little second wind. We're like, oh yeah, I like that one. The beat, our goal is for the players. And so I think it's just, both groups recognize that there's two different styles and people support and give what they can give. Whatever they have to bring, they can bring. I mean, as us, we would like the whole stadium to be just like us, but I don't think that's a reality. So we just got to give that kind of stuff time. And if people want to be on board and chant and stand and be crazy for 90 minutes, they're always welcome. If not, that's cool too.
Odin, yesterday the club released the new location and the stadium coming out, saw the renderings. Things are in very rapid motion. What do you think about the new stadium and how does it affect overall the fans, in your opinion, in terms of its relation distance wise to where people are used to going?
I could care less for the people who I could cuss in here, right? Like we
believe
just who bitch about every single little thing, right? Bitch about location. It doesn't matter where this team goes, they're gonna bitch about location. And they don't see the positive. And also, if you're gonna bitch about the location and how far you have to drive or that you can't walk to the stadium anymore, then are you really a fan? It was tough in the Arizona United days when they were going to Scottsdale and Peoria and Phoenix. Yeah. That was tough. Like I could see the bitching there, but that team was, in a pop-up stadium, in whatever it's called, South Scottsdale, North Tempe, for a long while, and that location wasn't great either. But now with this location where we're gonna have actual pavement and parking, and I hear we're gonna be able to tailgate, and we're gonna have a bigger stadium with a bigger digital board and a lot more and fields that the team can practice at, and bathrooms, water.
Bathrooms with running water. We are getting bathrooms with running water, my friend. We are moving up.
Yeah, like how is that? I don't see the negative. And Christian and I live pretty close to each other. We live in Central Phoenix, and we drive to Tempe and going down to Chandler now. It's another 34, 35 minutes for us. But we love this team. We love the sport. We love our group. It's our family, and we are definitely stepping up from where we were before. And I don't think there's nothing to complain about as that goes.
I Googled water and underappreciated concrete, by the way. I love those for you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christian.
It's the little things that keep us happy. When they announced it, I Googled from different spots in the valley. Yeah. And at most, it's an 8-minute drive for like the furthest person, an 8-minute extra drive. And so, I mean, I think for me and Odin, it's like an extra 6 minutes or 4 minutes. I mean, weekday games are always going to suck because getting off of work and fighting through traffic, but that sucked. Yeah. That was a crappy drive when it was in South Scottsdale. So, I mean.
Strategically, you guys just figure out a way to call into work sick. I mean.
Yeah. 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 It's by no means a perfect location, right? Like a perfect location would be Central Phoenix, downtown, 3 minutes from my house, and central to everybody. But I mean, you can't be mad at what they're trying to do and where they ended up going.
There's 5 million people in the valley, and it's a big landmass. No matter where you put it, somebody's not going to be happy.
A couple more questions, guys, and we'll get you out of here. Again, Bandidos on the hotline bling from Phoenix Rising with Christian Vasquez and Odin Domingo. Guys, thanks for joining us. I want to go through some favorite memories, players, experiences, things like that. Odin, let's start with you. Do you have a favorite game at Casino Arizona Field that you remember attending? And if so, why?
God, I can't even remember if I think this was the game where it was the Western Conference semifinal in 2018. It was just wow, because from where we were then to where we were before with this entire franchise, like dating back to Phoenix FC back in 2014, this club, this organization, the talent on the field was so different. We felt like as a supporters group, as an organization, and as as just people, like we went through so much just in those first 5 years of existence, to get to that point of winning that semifinals at home, draw with Didier Drogba coming to the stands and celebrating with us, and getting a chance for a trophy was, man, it was unbelievable to I can't even explain like the euphoria of it, because of where we were and what we had to go through to get to that point, and to have a winning team, and then an ownership group and a front office that actually cared about the product on the field and cared about what the supporters wanted, and what they said, and the way they were doing it was, everything lined up, and it was right. I think so that was my favorite game in Casino, Arizona, or whatever it was even called then. I think my favorite game was the game after that, when we actually won a title, and we went to Orange County, and we went in there with droves, and we just took over another city, another team's home stadium. We made Orange County Phoenix for that one night, and we took the trophy. We stormed on the field. I had broken my foot, and I was on a walking boot and a little scooter, and I was like, I'm going on the field. I don't care. Like I jumped down with everybody else, went on the field with my boot on, and celebrated on the field. Celebrated that our first trophy. That was no, it was pretty amazing. It's just like, you cannot even wipe the smile off of someone's face, whoever was there, that semifinals and then that Western Conference Finals. It was incredible.
Christian, same question.
Same question. It's a little tough for home games, because I think in the years that Phoenix Rising has been in existence, when they did the cross name change and everything, and since Bandidos started, I have probably watched about maybe 60 minutes of live football at home. I don't see and that's added up over the 4 years.
Yeah.
My back is always turned to the field, leading chants, and so a lot of the times that's a blur for me. Plus the Jameson. So
if you're listening, Jameson, I feel a sponsorship opportunity.
Yeah, Jameson.
Yeah, you're missing.
I keep you in business. Just anytime we were in Bandidos, it's more than a supporters group. It's a family. I think Odin had touched on it earlier about our group chat. We're in the off season. I think we have like 700 messages a day. So we talk every day, for anything from mate to other soccer leagues, other games
Star
around
Wars.
the world. We all Star Wars. We all know each other. We know each other's wives, kids. We all know what we do for a living. It's nuts. The only time I've ever come close to having the camaraderie like this is when I was in the Marine Corps, and I would say this is a little bit more tight. It's like the same for me. It's the same experience of being a part of something and belonging to a certain group with other like-minded individuals. But long story short, your question is the way day in New Mexico when we clinched the season title, because I cannot express enough how much we hate New Mexico. Like, it is real.
Sticker City.
Like, every time we play them, I hope they're ashamed of themselves after we're done with them. I hope their mothers disown them. I hope their mothers like you're not my son. Like, you embarrass me. That's how bad it is. The fact that we clinched it there and got to celebrate inside their stadium, inside their locker room with our team, clinching the season title. To me, that's the cake. Again, it's like OC. We took your car. We're your daddies. We own you.
Didn't hurt that Joey Calistri dropped that bomb from distance, by the way, to steal it, right?
That was like, cue the Titanic music. I want to hear Celine Dion when that thing goes in.
I was on a college. I was doing a game. I was in Wisconsin. I was doing a game in Wisconsin and Penn State. I wasn't calling the Phoenix game or the New Mexico game, I should say. That night, I was in my hotel room about 8 beers deep because my game wasn't until the next day. Just hanging out, watching the game, and I was like in and out of consciousness. And then because the game didn't start very well for you guys, and then the comeback started, and I'm watching the last 15 minutes. And the goal, I threw my Chromebook across the room when Joey Calistri scored because I was like half asleep and I heard the scream as I had my headphones in. And I was like, oh, and then I saw the goal and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good goal. Yeah, it's a heck of a way to celebrate. Couple rapid fires. We'll go back and forth to get you guys out of here. We'll start with Odin. I'm gonna say both of you before each question. Otherwise, we're just gonna bounce back and forth. This is for both Odin and Christian. You kind of already gave me your answer, but there is a difference here. Most hated team. I'm going to ask you your biggest rival. Most hated.
No, it has to be New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys.
Christian, you agree?
Yeah, I hate New Mexico, but I don't think at this point anybody's our rival.
Oh, no rival at all.
No, they got to step up. I mean, our club, our front office, our coaching staff, the players we brought in and out, the success we've had. I think some teams got a ways to go. Maybe El Paso. They seem to be they're in the second year, but look at where they've done in 2 years. But that's not a hate thing because their fan base and their supporters groups are top notch. So I mean, there's a respect level.
We have a love and hate relationship with El Paso. I like their fans are great. I think they've always been good to us every time we go to El Paso. The only other team that I can think of that's a rival would maybe be Real Monarchs, just because they came to our field. I think it was like 2019. They beat us then. They ended up winning that title next. Yeah. So,
sorry.
yeah. And when you come, and I always compare the rosters. Like, how do we lose to these guys? So that would be the only team that I can think
of. Both of you. Start with Christian. Favorite player?
Oh, Zach Lubin.
Yeah. All right. Odin?
Yeah, Christian would say that. Man, I think it has to be Asante for me. It's cliche, but I love that little guy.
How about players coming into your home? Players you hate the most? Odin, you start, both of you.
Oh man. I think it's, hey Christian, what's the goalkeeper's name from Austin Bold?
Oh, you talking about Restrepo?
Diego
Restrepo. Yeah, Diego. Yeah, Diego.
Man. But props to that guy. We talk so much trash to that kid, and all he turn around and give it right back. So yeah, Restrepo. But I kind of got some respect for Restrepo.
That's a South Florida boy. He grew up down here. That's funny.
I actually like him, but just the little history that we got going with him when he's on our field, it's pretty funny to me. But I think Christian has probably a different answer.
I do. I'm not even going to say his name because, yeah.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yep.
Yes, of course.
We need hints. Come on.
Well, yeah, he might be thinking different, but I'm thinking of a certain individual that left New Mexico and went to San Diego, Orange County. I think collectively we don't like him. Collectively, as a collective,
Okay, fair enough. Let's Carmen Sandiego. You guys all do your best sleuthing there. I'm pretty sure you can follow the breadcrumbs on that one. How about this? Whether Eastern or Western Conference, someone you guys would like to see play for Phoenix and why? Start with Odin.
I'm a big U.S. soccer fan, and Jonathan Gomez, who plays left back for Louisville City, he's 17 years old, super silky, fast for a left back. And for a kid his age, oh man, if he decided to go to Phoenix before he steps up to Europe, because there's no way that he's not going to go to Europe one day. I think his brother's in Port OB right now. I think he's better than his brother. But yeah, super silky player. He's a one kid that I can think of in like an independent USL team in the East Coast that I would love. And I think we do need a left back on our roster too, so it would be perfect.
I actually got to co-sign that one. I when it comes to East Coast, I tune in, I watch. They're fun to watch. I'm still convinced they're a computer simulation. You know, they really don't exist. It's just something because like we showed up to Tampa or to St. Pete and magically the game didn't happen. But anybody who has got some potential to play for the U.S. National team.
There's rumors that he's on trial over in Portugal right now. I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to be able to keep him. I've heard some rumors of some issues with players and finders fees, players coming over, and how that's been an issue. But I'm with you guys. Anybody at the youth level that has an opportunity to go, I've got a son now. I would send him. But like you said, if you could bring him, bring him. I will let you know, by the way, Odin, you definitely need a left back. Moving on before we go any further, you need a left center back too, but that's neither here nor there. I want to talk other club supporters groups before we get out of here. I'm just kind of curious. Before coming on air, I said to you guys, if you're not the best, you're definitely, top three. The supporters in Phoenix are amazing. I'm kind of curious from your level, looking out at everybody else, who do you guys respect supporters groups wise? It doesn't have to be their team, just the supporters groups. We can start with Christian.
El Paso. They got a good supporters. The 8 Notch is pretty good. It's hard to judge on the East Coast, and if we haven't been to their stadiums, because I don't like to judge off of if I can't feel the game day experience, because sometimes things don't come across well on TV. So 8 Notch is pretty good. San Antonio, we went there. They were top class. They had a bunch of great fans. Still friends with a bunch of them. We talk to each other, DMs on Twitter, on Facebook. For me, that's about it, because the two teams really don't have anything. Las Vegas, their guys are clowns, just like their club. Sad to see Reno go. We didn't really like Reno too much, but a few of us showed up for the playoff game there and met some pretty nice people there. They were nice. I was kind of sad to see that team go away. New Mexico is garbage. I'll never say anything nice about them. I don't think Rio Grande Valley has fans, and I mean for real. The Oklahoma teams, I've never been to their games, so I don't know. East Coast, I've got some Louisville guys on Twitter that I banter forth and back with, and some old the Nashville guys, but they're on the list now, so they don't exist. But there's some Louisville guys that are pretty cool.
Odin, for you?
Yeah, when you said that we're in the top 3, the only other 2 that I can think of was the 2018 version of Bandidos and 2019 version of Bandidos, and then us.
And that's the correct answer.
And that's it. That's the list. Next question.
And where in that order of 3 do you guys fall in your mind?
I think 2020 Bandidos is probably the greatest support group of all time, considering everything we had to go through with the hate thrown towards our way of not just towards us, towards our whole fan base, with the situation that's the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about, shockingly. There was a lot of stuff thrown our way on the internet that we had to put up with. So I'm especially proud of not just Bandidos, but our whole fan base. It's just having to go through that and be able to keep our chins up and take the body blows that seem to come and hit us every other week.
So it's literally my last question, and it ties into this year, obviously because of everything that went down, but other years as well. Do you guys feel, even prior to things that happened this year and what went on social media and what went on in the field, do you guys feel like you're the villains of the USL, both supporters group and the team?
Yes.
We literally talk about that all week. Well,
so you could take out the on the field incident that happened with the player saying what he said. We were already that, I think.
And I would agree with you. Does it bother you, Christian?
Not at all, because you can't match what we do in the stands. You can't match what our team does on the field. And to me, that's just jealousy. People didn't take the time out to find out about our fan base and our team when that incident happened. As a supporters group and as a fan base, every Pride Month, we've raised over $5,000 for LGBTQ kids, charities in the Valley. And at first it was with no support. It was just us. And then we got the team on board, another SG on board, and the fan base. I mean, the hate that was thrown towards the whole entire fan base and the team was heartbreaking, because I know that's not who we are. I know that's not who our team is. I know that's not what the organization is. They've been supportive. Mike trying to hit really close home to me, because my 12-year-old daughter who plays soccer, who's a goalkeeper, she's a lesbian. She came out to me a year and a half ago, and it was a gut punch that one of our own that this happened with our team.
Yeah.
And so now, even now, when that USL announced the stadium, you go on the post, it's like, oh, look, the homophobic team got a new stadium. It's like,
Odin, you kind of, I mean, are you kind of feel the same way, or does that change a little bit for you? Where are your thoughts on the subject of being the villain and the hated ones of the USL?
Yeah, for sure. No, we love playing the anti-hero, like Christian said, we get all this hate, but what people don't know, or what they haven't been paying attention to, is ever since the beginning, and I wasn't there at the beginning with the Bandidos, but I've noticed it since the beginning of Bandidos creation. Bandidos have never changed, like who they are and were from the beginning. We were always anti-racist, always anti-fascist, always anti-homophobic, and we always brought 90, right? When we were doing all of those things, especially those first three things, people were saying, oh, why are you putting politics into soccer? Why are you putting politics into my sport? It's not politics. It's being human. It's about human rights. And Bandidos has always stood for that, and will always stand for that. And it's funny that people would hate on Bandidos, even though from the very beginning, before even like Portland Timbers or like Timbers Army and Emerald City supporters started doing, the 3 arrows down and everything like that. Yeah. Like even before they started doing that, Bandidos was doing that from the beginning, and has publicly been doing it, has been doing it on their banners. And I don't think anyone recognizes that. I don't think anyone, even noticed it, besides when they hated on it. So it's funny now that where we are in 2020 and how woke everybody is. Bandidos has been that since the creation, since 2017, and the only time anyone said anything about it then was, hey, why are you putting, like, don't put politics into soccer, when literally everywhere else in the world, politics and football go hand in hand. The supporters group are, they create revolutions. And so we understand that history, we embrace that history again, and we embrace who we are, and we're not going to change who we are. We've been who we are from the beginning. So it's funny that the way we're like that now, and what we've done and what we stand for.
Well said, gentlemen. I cannot begin to express my gratitude for allowing everybody to kind of get a glimpse into your lives and what it's like in one of the more impressive supporters groups around the entire USL championship. Odin D'Amico, thank you so much. Christian Vasquez, thank you so much. And Bandidos, thank you for letting us into your family for the better portion of 3/4 of an hour. Can't wait to see you guys back in 2021. Stay safe, stay happy. They are the Bandidos. We are 3 Honest Lads. And as I say at the end of all of these, gentlemen, say goodbye.
Bye. 2021, the
Thanks,
Desert
y'all.
Empire.
Appreciate it.
That's our new moniker for the Desert Empire.
Bye.